Hi, good afternoon. Recently, I've been showing our dashboards to the public pretty often. The main focus of my presentation to the Israeli audience is on explaining the information, providing some financial education, and encouraging customers to use, compare, and save. I assume most of you do not have a bank account in Israel. So I will try to focus here on why we publish comparative data for customers, and also a bit on how we do it. Okay, so why we focus on deposits? Let's start with some numbers. The balance of deposits in the Israeli household sector is around 800 billion shekels. The demand for information changed based on the situation. When interest rates were low, there was a little interest in deposits. In August 2022, after several interest rate rises by the Bank of Israel, we saw that the interest rate on deposits was not rising accordingly. You can see it right there. The data also showed an increase in the gap between the interest rate on credit, which was in line with the Bank of Israel interest rate, and the interest rate on deposits. We identified the phenomena and took a decision. At the beginning of September 2022, the supervisor of banks sent a letter to the banking system clarifying the expectation that banks should adapt their investment products to the changing interest rate environment and the needs of their customers. The supervisor of banks announced that with the aim of increasing transparency and enhancing the power of the customers, the Bank of Israel intends to publish the interest rates on the credit and deposits of households. Our ability to operate fast was based on the serious database that is accessible to the public and the new tools, BI tools, implemented in the Bank of Israel website. For the first time, we decided to publish data on prices at the bank level and give the public a tool that will help them compare costs and choose the appropriate product. This move is also aligned with other initiatives we are promoting to increase competition in the banking system and enhance transparency. As part of a regulatory approach that prioritizes the customer's best interest. Sorry for the Hebrew, I will try to explain everything. So, this is our dashboard. In the right, this is the list of the Israeli banks. There are not many banks in Israel, and you can see the different periods of deposits. The dashboard presents household deposits and credit. We will get to the credit later. It includes both fixed and variable rate deposits, categorized by period, and it is updated every month. Deposits are shown alongside the one-year Macam central bank bill yield for the selected month. It is the 4.23%. This is the interest rate, the Macam. The information about the alternative investment option to deposits allow the customer to understand that they should check and compare also other investment products before making a decision. The somewhat overwhelming table from the previous slide is widely used by journalists, but is less suitable for the end user. Users can switch to a graphical comparison of interest rates. The customers select the desired deposit period and the type of interest rate, fixed or variable. On this slide, a comparison of fixed interest rates on monthly deposit is displayed. Users can choose to view either average or median rates for better insight. There are many parameters that affect the terms of the deposits, including the possibility of early withdrawals and the amount of the deposits. We knew we couldn't address all the options, so we decided also to provide information about the median, which partially neutralized the effect of the amount. The information is not full and it is not perfect, but it helps the customers negotiate with the bank. We have heard many stories of customers who used the information in the dashboard to negotiate with their bank and improved their deposit terms. It happens to me as well. I already mentioned earlier that we present also information on loans interest rates in addition to information on deposits. The interest rates offered to customers are mainly influenced by the borrower risk profile, as well as other factors such as the loan amount, the loan period, and additional considerations. The rate for consumers' loans can vary significantly. Therefore, we also present the range of rates presented there. Alongside the average or median rate, we display the average rate in the lowest quartile, the 25% of loans issued at the lowest interest rate, and the average rate on the highest quartile, the 25% of loans issued in the highest interest rate. You can see there that it is, the range is really big. I don't know how to say it. Okay. The dashboard has already been expanded several times as we identify additional use cases that required attention. We added information on interest rate for current accounts and credit cards, not shown here. We understood that there is a demand for data and a need to close information gaps. Last year, we realized there is another use case that requires special attention: housing loans. As for July 2024, 63% of the customers received offer from only one bank. To address this, we built a dedicated dashboard for comparing interest rates on housing loans, presented here. The data represent each bank's average portfolio as opposed to any specific mortgage loan actually issued. This publication provides access to each bank's portfolio mix there, okay, along with the average interest rate charged for each track and the portfolio IRR. The IRR is at the top. The IRR, which is the internal rate of return, represents the actual cost of credit. It is calculated by the Bank of Israel. While again, it is not perfect, it still holds significant value. It is not perfect because many features of the credit may affect the customer's average interest rate, including but not limited to the customer's credit data, loan-to-value ratio, and condition of the property, the income, and the loan period. Still, the comparative information presented in the dashboard, along with the information to customers that the customers receive from the bank in the pre-approval, allows a comparison of terms and enhances the customer's bargaining power in negotiating with the bank. The dashboard also raises customers' awareness of the importance of shopping around and getting offers from more than one bank. We received positive feedback on the dashboards. The interest rates dashboard has also been integrated into a leading news website in Israel. We measure usability through Google Analytics and monitor it regularly. There are many users or views comparing to other pages in the Bank of Israel website, which is not very popular, but it is not enough. On average, there are 10,000 views of the dashboard per month, comparing to over 500,000 deposit transactions per month. We are conducting many training sessions, financial education campaigns, and promoting the dashboard on social media, but the usage is still not increasing. I would like to remind you that our goals were to enhance competition and improve the situation of the customers. However, it is not clear how to measure the success of such a reform. Is it just usability? Probably not. Measuring competition is difficult, and there are many variables that influence both interest rates and the competitive environment. As part of our effort to increase the use of our comparison product, we decided to develop a new dashboard that provides a comparison of key metrics between different banks. If a customer is interested in more detailed information, they can follow links to the existing dashboards. The new product ensures the provision of a brief and simplified information for customers. There are significant gaps in financial literacy among the general public in Israel, and our goal is to reach everyone. We used customer journey technique and choose a persona to be our compass. We thought about what information would be most relevant for her. As a result of this process, we decided to add information about fees, the location of branches, and the results of the satisfaction survey that is carried out every half year. We received help from a company that specialized in user-friendly writing in order to create a good user experience, making banking information accessible to the citizen in a simple language. We developed a mobile responsive version on the site for the first time. Finally, a marketing campaign is planned for the beginning of next year to increase public awareness of the new tool. I heard the word journey here yesterday many times, so I'm not going to tell you about how we build the taxonomy, receive the XBRL files, and so on. This is another kind of a journey because the decision and desire to share information with the public changed the way we look at the data. Among other things, we were required to improve the accuracy and expand the scope of the data collected. I don't know if our situation where the same unit is responsible for both collecting the information and publishing it to the general public is unique, but I'm sure it made it easier for us to lead the current initiative because we definitely needed to make changes to our reporting guidelines in order to produce clearer and better publications. 3 examples of such changes we implemented are breaking down the collected information into more deposits period because we saw it affects the deposit terms, collecting additional statistical measures, and also requiring a significant advancement in reporting date so that we can provide the public with more timely and up-to-date information. There is a lot of responsibility in publishing information at the individual bank level, and we also want to do it within quick timelines. Therefore, we needed to develop new capabilities using smart machine learning models to ensure that the information we publish is accurate and reliable. This initiative also changed or developed our way of thinking. New skills are required to understand how to collect and present information to the public. A dialogue and connection have been established between the banking supervision and various stakeholders, journalists, consultants, who through their questions and articles highlight new issues. Today, we have a new channel of communication between the regulator and the public. We have created new interfaces and are dedicating significant time and effort to this. While doing this, we are also learning and gaining a lot from the dialogue with the public. I have no thanks.
Thank you. No.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really interesting case study, and having worked in statistics in official capacity, understand that that's a really major mind shift to go away from I'm serving my central bank and indeed the members of the Monetary Policy Committee through to I'm serving the public. So presumably there are many other areas where you could change the mindset of the production of statistics to produce other information that would be useful for your community. So I think that's terrific to see that, and maybe that creates some inspiration for others. Are there some questions for Noa? There's one here. Anton.
Thanks. Great dashboard. I have one question. Are the data, like all the data that you collect, is that available like in XBRL format so they can download it and look into it and analyze it on your own, or is it only available through the dashboard?
Everything that is presented in the dashboard is also available in the Sirius database, so we transfer data from XBRL to SDMX, And this is available also via API or to download as Excel in the website and also through the dashboard, yes.
Great, thanks.
So just to be clear, that would mean, I mean, in some other countries, and I'm familiar with 3 countries that do this, you get inundated with offers from organizations that provide comparative interest rates. So, you know, do you want a better deposit in Canada, in the UK, in Australia? Those are some of the ones that I'm familiar with. And they're taking similar data, or in some cases they're having to construct it themselves and then serving it up. But they've got their own private sector marketing capability. Do you think that that kind of thing might occur in Israel as well, or maybe it already exists?
I think that there is a difference between the information that we publish, which is the interest rates issued in the previous month, but it is the real interest rate, comparing to the offers that are available to various companies in the market. So this is advantage and disadvantage of our publication, because it gives real data, but it is not up to date, really up to date. So I don't know. They know how to access to the public maybe better than us, but we have more data. So
of course. Is there another question for Noah? There's a couple.
Hi. Yeah. Well, firstly, congratulations. It's great to see this level of transparency. My question was around how have the banks reacted to this? Has it been quite a level of sort of resistance? And the sort of follow-on question for that is, has it sort of changed behaviours at the banks? Has it kind of narrowed the range of interest rates, or is that still to come in the future, do you think?
The 2 different questions. So some of them were happy, some of them were less happy, and some of them were, it depends, because they give a very good interest rate on deposits, so please publish my interest on deposits, but not on credit, no. Okay, so it differs, but unfortunately I can't say, and I showed it in the slide where you saw the average interest rate on deposits comparing to the Bank of Israel interest rate. We don't see any change or for good in the gap between the two because of our publications. We see that the real users, the ones that know how to read the information and how to negotiate with the bank, they receive better interest rates. So maybe if we will be able to have more users, it will help.
Stretch goal, margin compression. I like it a lot. There's another question.
Thank you for your presentation. I think this is really useful to all the households and all the citizens, so I think this is a very good example. You mentioned that it has been somewhat hard to reach the public, with about 10,000 views a month and with 500,000 transactions. So I was wondering, is it in your power as a supervisor to also make it mandatory for these banks that when they inform the clients about these financial products, that they also include a reference to this information, so that you would get a 100% coverage right away?
So I skipped this part, but it is written in the paper. So there is a new regulation now in Israel. It will be forced next year for banks to give the comparative data that we present in our dashboard to their customers when they are coming to close a deposit. So yes, it will be mandated in Israel next year. It is still not. Maybe it will increase the usability. I hope so.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions?